Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Even though he was the first WWE Universal Champion in 2016, Finn Balor has never returned to the Mountain Summit. The Prince was a favorite of Triple H during his initial run in NXT. This lent the game to push Balor as a top star upon his debut in the former Black and Yellow brand. He won the NXT Championship from Kevin Owens and went on to become the longest reigning champion at the time. He then went back to the developmental brand and won the title again. Balor's return to the main roster netted him a few mid-card title runs and tag team gold. Over the last few years, he's been embroiled with the Judgment Day. Despite those successes, it seems like Triple H may have given up on Finn Balor for the next 5 reasons after another big loss on the second episode of Raw on Netflix. When stars need a reboot or change of scenery, they're often sent back to NXT for a brief run. It can either refresh that performer or signal the end of their tenure. In addition to Finn Balor, names like Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews, Pete Dunne, The OC, Ridge Holland, D-Jack, and even Becky Lynch returned to NXT for a spell. The Prince returned to the developmental brand with an edgier character. He won the NXT Championship before returning to the main roster. Since that avenue has already been used, it feels like the game may be leaving one of his former favorites by the wayside. Michael Cole mentioned that Finn Balor and Damian Priest were even in matches at 3-3 before their street fight on Raw. That presents the feud as equal on paper, but is greatly misleading. Balor's victories over Priest were before both men joined the Judgment Day in 2022. The Archer of Infamy won the last 4 meetings, which all took place after Balor's betrayal in 2024. Priest also won on the bigger stages, including at Bad Blood and during their most recent encounter on Raw. Presenting the rivalry as relatively close gives Balor some credibility. Riding a 4-match losing streak to his main rival shows he's not a priority, in terms of singles titles, in the current landscape. Finn Balor has enjoyed big spots while the Judgment Day has been prominently featured each week on Raw. He's a 3-time tag team champion with the group, winning the titles twice with Priest and once with JD McDonough. Throughout his time with the Judgment Day, the Prince also regularly challenged for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was the impetus for turning on Priest after he won the same title. Balor's title run with McDonough was extremely forgettable as the duo only made 2 defenses in a 6-month reign. That arguably shows that the tag division wasn't a priority during their run. One huge advantage Finn Balor has over other WWE stars is the use of his demon gimmick. Balor brought his alter ego out for big matches or feud-ending showdowns. That gimmick often meant the Prince would come out on top. This was always the case while portraying a heroic star. While he's been with the Judgment Day, the gimmick has been scarcely used. The Demon last faced Edge inside Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 39, but lost to the Rated R Superstar, only his 3rd defeat using this gimmick. However, by not using the gimmick and having him lose on the grandest stage of them all in 2023, Triple H may have abandoned Finn Balor as a priority. WWE loves to milk every bit of the ongoing Bloodline and Judgment Day sagas. The Groots ruled their respective brands at the same time. Finn Balor explored a heel version of his character by joining the Judgment Day. It's led to big title matches and a prominent spot on the card. However, that hasn't led to single success, as the Prince routinely fell to Priest, Gunther, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins. Both factions fractured once already, but will likely do so again in the coming months. The 3 people who started the group, Edge, Priest, and Rhea Ripley, have been replaced. It's a matter of time before Balor meets the same fate. By continually extending the group's drama, it feels like bookers don't have ideas for the eventual split. Having Balor say, "When we listen to Finn, we win," before losing more matches, doesn't show him in the best light. Finn Balor's journey through WWE has been nothing short of a roller coaster. From being the first ever Universal Champion to battling through injuries and reinvention, Balor has had his fair share of highs and lows. However, as of late, there have been signs that indicate the creative mind behind WWE's direction. Triple H, might be distancing himself from Balor's potential. Below are 5 indications that suggest Triple H may have given up on Finn Balor as a top star in WWE. When Finn Balor first entered WWE's main roster, he was thrust into the spotlight with a quick rise to the top. He became the first Universal Champion at SummerSlam 2016, only to relinquish the title due to injury shortly after. Since then, while Balor has enjoyed sporadic title shots, he's never been positioned as a consistent, top-tier champion again. Triple H, known for his focus on building long-term title programs and elevating superstars, hasn't fully backed Balor in the way he has other wrestlers. In recent years, Balor's involvement in championship storylines has been limited. His last significant title push came with the Intercontinental Championship during his feud with Bobby Lashley, but that quickly faded into the background. Notably, his Universal Championship reign in 2016 was short-lived and has not been revisited by WWE's higher-ups, including Triple H. Triple H is known for giving champions meaningful reigns, but Balor has been stuck in the mid-card and has rarely been afforded a serious run at the top belts. This indicates that Triple H may not view him as a key player in the championship picture any longer. Finn Balor's current association with the Judgment Day faction is perhaps the most telling sign of Triple H's shift away from him as a top star. The Judgment Day faction has certainly been a highlight in WWE programming, with dominant figures like Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio holding significant positions in the storyline. However, Balor's role in the group has been one of a secondary character at best. Triple H has a history of elevating wrestlers to new heights within factions, such as his work with Evolution and The Authority. When he helped create the modern-day iteration of NXT, he also built factions that allowed superstars like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns to flourish. However, in the Judgment Day, Finn Balor is often overshadowed by other members of the group, particularly Rhea Ripley, who has become the focal point of the faction's dominance. While Balor plays a role as the group's leader, it's clear that he's not the focal point of the faction's storylines. Instead, Ripley has emerged as the breakout star, with Balor relegated to a more subordinate position. This shift is a far cry from Balor's previous position as a leader of factions and the face of his own NXT brand. Judgment Day has undoubtedly given Balor something to do, but it also feels like a step backward in terms of his previous potential as a top single star. The lack of a significant storyline or championship aspirations while leading the faction is a subtle sign that Triple H might not see him as a main event player anymore. Balor's early success in NXT, where he was positioned as one of the cornerstones of the brand, showed immense potential. His success in NXT, including his reign as NXT champion and his captivating feud with Samoa Joe, made him one of the brand's most beloved stars. In theory, this should have translated to continued success upon his move to the main roster. However, since his promotion to the main roster, Balor's storylines have often felt inconsistent, with a lack of sustained focus or commitment from creative. Triple H, a mastermind behind NXT's success, should have been the one to continue pushing Balor on the main roster, but that hasn't happened. One key example of this is Balor's return to NXT in 2019. While it initially appeared to be a move to reinvigorate his career, it quickly became clear that this was not the reset many had hoped for. Instead of positioning Balor as a top star once again, the storylines felt disjointed and his momentum was quickly stifled. This sudden drop-off after his return only highlights the fact that Triple H, who was the architect of NXT's golden era, might not have the same vision for Balor's future in WWE. Balor's failure to capitalize on his past successes within WWE shows a lack of long-term planning, a hallmark of Triple H's booking. Without a sustained push or a major storyline to reignite his momentum, it's difficult not to wonder if Triple H has given up on pushing Balor as a true top-tier talent. One of Triple H's most significant contributions to WWE has been his focus on developing new stars and elevating lesser-known talent. However, in recent years, Balor has been cast aside in favor of established stars like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes, who have dominated the main event scene. While this is not inherently a bad thing, it does suggest a shift away from prioritizing Finn Balor's growth as a top star. Triple A's booking decisions have leaned heavily toward promoting established names and creating long-term storylines around them. With these stars getting the bulk of television time and focus, Balor has often been relegated to lower-profile matches and non-title storylines. This lack of focus on Balor, in favor of continuing the stories of more established WWE superstars, could be an indication that Triple H no longer sees Finn as one of WWE's most important stars going forward. This trend is particularly noticeable given Balor's abilities as a performer. He has the skill, charisma, and in-ring expertise to be a leading star in WWE. However, the continued emphasis on the same roster of established names over him suggests that Triple H may no longer view Balor as the fresh, exciting talent he once was. Another key indicator that Triple H may have given up on Finn Balor is the stagnation of Balor's character. Balor's demon persona had huge potential when it was first introduced in NXT and WWE's main roster. The idea of Finn Balor transforming into a demonic alter ego was exciting and captivating for fans. However, since the initial buzz around the demon, the character has become less of a focal point. Balor's reliance on the demon persona has become sporadic, and he's often been booked in a more generic babyface role that doesn't fully showcase his charisma or uniqueness. In contrast, wrestlers like Roman Reigns have undergone significant character evolutions under Triple H's creative guidance, making Balor's stagnant persona all the more noticeable. The lack of real character development or any new, exciting angles for Balor may be a sign that Triple H doesn't see Balor as a major player with room to evolve further in WWE. In conclusion, there are several factors that point to Triple H having distanced himself from Finn Balor as a top WWE star. Whether it's the lack of consistent championship opportunities, his relegation to a supporting role in the Judgment Day faction, the failure to capitalize on his past successes, the continued push of established stars over him, or the stagnation of his character, these signs suggest that Balor's once promising WWE career has hit a plateau. While he still offers value as a talented in-ring performer, it appears that Triple H may have shifted his focus elsewhere.